Hello and welcome to the Shepherd cage match against Tracer. So fair warning before you look at this, Shepherd and cards like Shepherd that make use of green cards, I'm not very good with it, so you'll have a lot of mistakes to pick up on while looking at these set of matches or games here. Alright, so looking at the board, I noticed the landmarks straight away, Wall and Wolf Den. Wall means you want to make your deck small, Wolf Den try as best as possible to have not one copy of a thing in your deck. Anything other than one is fine. My plan going into this was to do something to have my draw set up with a combination of Scrying Pool and Shepherd. So it means that I wasn't going to trash the estates out of my deck here. There is an argument to be made for doing so. There's no plus buy on the board, so it seems like you want to hit the provinces as quickly as possible and be able to do so as, efficiently as possible. So yeah, I was thinking of Scrying Pool plus Shepherd for draw. Get some goals, stick a remodel in. Speaking of remodel, I also consider on this opening here. So I have 2-5, right? And the goat is on the other side here. 2 is obviously the Pixie, and my opponent gets a Pixie as well. He goes for a Talisman. Now I saw the Talisman. I didn't really see what you wanted with the Talisman a lot. I didn't really see it, so I decided to stick with my Scrying Pool plan and go for the potion first off here. Now I could have gone for a remodel here, and it's definitely a consideration. I think it was better than the potion by because if you're trashing the coppers and leaving the estates in your deck, your money density is going to go down, and hitting something like 4 is actually quite difficult if you start trimming away the coppers and not putting any other treasure in your deck like silver or gold or anything. So my opponent gets up to 4 here. Mind you, he opened with a Talisman, which is treasure, and a Pixie. So he got up to 4. I'm not able to get up to 4, but I am able to get to my Scrying Pool, which I'm happy about. That's why I opened Potion, right? So right away, my opponent turns up the Forest's gift with the Pixie, and here I kind of underestimate Pixie too. He goes for a couple Shepherds here now, which is fine, I guess, right? But the Goat trimming away the coppers, the Shepherd should be able to connect with the green cards more often. And this is my big issue with the Shepherd. Like, I am always worried that I draw the Shepherd and I don't have enough green cards in hand to make use of the Shepherd. Always, perennially worried about that. Guide for my opponent with the Talisman in place. So that's very, very nice for him. That is also something I missed at the beginning. So with guides on your mat, you could set up or go through your deck looking for a nice hand with a bunch of Shepherd, not a bunch of Shepherd, Shepherd and a bunch of green cards in it, and get there eventually. And he has a couple of them for the price of one there because of the Talisman. So he's already making a very good use of his Talisman. A couple Pixies, a couple Shepherds, a couple guides came out so far. He has a remodel here, and he actually turns copper into an estate. So this is another play that I'm not sure about, right? So for all of Dominion that I've played so far, I've learned that, green is in general not the best card to put into your deck. So doing something like remodeling anything that's not green into green this early into the piece is unsettling for me. It makes me feel very uncomfortable. But my opponent does it. He has the couple shepherd, right? So we'll see what becomes of that um, in due time. So I do finally get up to my remodel here, which I'm happy about. Very happy about. I was also able to draw my entire deck that turn, which is, you know, due to the Pixie really, but maybe I'll get there with the Scrying Pools this time. A nice boons for my opponent. He was able to gain a couple fours there with the Earth Skiff off of the Pixie. So this is another consequence of the Talisman opener, right? You get a lot more Pixies, which means you get, you know, better shot at getting the boons you like. So he picked up Forest early, he picked up Fields, which is coins and buy. Now he picked up Earth, which is discard treasures for 4 costs, which is great here. You could just gain Shepherd's Guides, whatever you like. And all that was on the back of the Talisman purchase near the beginning. So I am starting to feel very, very lost at this point in the game. The only thing I kind of have going for me is that I am able to draw my deck. Maybe. Sometimes. I do have a second Scrying Pool now, so that should help things. Here, this is a very nice boon. I would have loved to have picked up that one. The will-o-wisps, and the silvers, yeah, that's also very good. I'd have taken those as well. Nice remodel targets, honestly. Nice remodel targets. So here my opponent is also able to draw his deck. Nice interaction with the wisps, right? The shepherd can discard the estates, the wisps can draw them straight back. He turns his goat into an estate, so he has, what, 5 estates now? His initial 3 plus he remodeled into 2 more. So it's quite a bit of green cards, but he also has, 5 shepherds, so it should be fine at this point. Here I do turn up Earth's Gifts myself, which is excellent, and I'm going to make use of it. I really needed that to show up there to give me some kind of, you know, not even chances, but just to catch up a little bit on development. So I'm going to pick up a shepherd here and a talisman of my own, I believe. So a bit late for the talisman. As no, yeah. So I do decide just to get another shepherd with it. And I'm gonna burn this last pixie here just to have enough money to pick up a guide. Yeah. So here comes the talisman off of the remodel. Didn't really matter. I could have remodel into the shepherd and gain the talisman. And a single guide for me. So I need to get another one to avoid the wolves being unhappy with me. And here you see shepherd starting to sing for my opponent, right? So he calls his guide first up. Then he finds a hand with shepherd and 3 estates. And that's pretty big. You get to draw 6 cards, and if you find something like that, you're probably guaranteed to draw through everything. So the issue with shepherd in my head is that, okay, like shepherd with 1 green card isn't that impressive in my mind. Shepherd with 2 is good, and anything more than 2 is excellent, right? But the problem in my head here is, how do you set that up here? Here you had the guides, right? So I missed the guides entirely. The last set of pixies go for my opponent. So yeah, here you have the guides, which is fine, and that can help set you up. But early in the game, I'm very unsure, and still very unsure at the end of this match. When is the right time to pick up Shepherd? When is it good to keep estates in your deck? So here we're doing it, keeping the estates in your deck, but I'm not entirely sure that's the right thing to do. I do buy an estate here because I feel like now, okay, I have some Shepherds, I have thinned a lot of my treasures out of the deck. Maybe I can make use of that extra green card. But my opponent, he's been doing this a couple turns now, right? He's built his deck where Shepherd is a primary draw for him. It's much better than Scrying Pool, honestly, because I'm planning to play with Scrying Pool and Treasure. That, you know, doesn't work the best. It can work, but it doesn't work the best, right? So he still has a bunch of pixies around, so that's also something I have to keep in mind, right? Like, what boons can he get? I could probably have his pick of the boons. I think I have 1 pixie left, if any at all. So he turns a silver into a duchy just for the green, I assume, and he buys another estate here. So piles are looking a little bit thin here. 4 estates, 3 shepherds left, and um, there are some gainers and buys in the pixies left. So I just have to pay attention and not screw it up, or not leave it to a point where my opponent could just win very easily, is what I mean. Anyways, my shepherds finally come out and do something here. Drawing me all the way to the end of my deck. I'm not able to draw everything. It would have been nice to be able to do that, but not quite. I do pick up my second guide, and as we approach the end game here, I'm starting to see that, well, my opponent doesn't really have that much money in his deck. He did pick up a couple of silvers earlier, and he might do so again here. But aside from that, he doesn't have a lot of money. He does go for the silvers because he knows, as I do, he needs that money, and he can easily draw it up this turn with the, look at that massive shepherd, right? I discarded 6 green cards, drawing him 12 in total, and he only had 11 in his deck, so even better for him. Trashes a pixie there to gain plus buy a couple extra coins, which is very nice for him at this point. But like I said, he has the majority of the pixies. It's only a matter of time before he sees the boons that he wants. Anyway, he gets rid of his talisman now for gold, and he picks up another gold. So now he's rectified his money problem. He has a couple silvers and a couple gold, I believe. Yeah, a couple silvers and a couple gold, so that's pretty nice for him. These grind pools pretty underwhelming for the majority of the game here. But my uncertainty, my tentative nature with the shepherds kind of forced me to go down this path. But things are not as bad as I imagined them to be. Really, they're not as bad yet. Points wise, I'm okay on points with him. The only thing I have to really worry about is the pixies because we have roughly the same amount of money. But the pixies could cause problems. The pixies could change that. The pixies could help him in the game. My deck is more fragile than his, of course, but I have some shepherds, and as you green, the shepherds get better. So here my opponent trashes a gold into a province, buys a province, and buys another estate here. So I have to start going after the green here myself, and I can make similar plays to my opponent. I can remodel gold into province, but I'd like to reserve that play for a little bit later in the piece. I have 3 gold. I do have 3 gold, and I would like to get rid of my last copper here. My state seems a natural choice with a bunch of shepherds in my deck. I say bunch, I think I have 2 shepherds, and I really, if I'm looking to green, should have like 3 or 4 shepherds. So this is a good hand for the shepherd here. No, okay, so very clearly no at this point, knowing the state of my deck, no I could see including a shepherd, right? It's very clear at this point. Yeah, shepherd is a good card for your deck, put it in. Before that is not so clear to me. Alright, so this endgame is going to go down on provinces here. There's 1 estate and 3 shepherds left, and the pixie just a ticking time bomb because I have no pixies, and he just has to wait for the right one. The gaining pixie lets him win the game, I think, if I'm not enough points ahead. So he could just gain 2 shepherds. Or maybe the buy one lets him win because he could buy 3 things, remodel another. That's 4 gains. So I have to try to finish the game as quickly as possible before he gets what he wants from the boons. Boons are nearly reset. If you could see there's just 1 left. I have no idea what it is. He turns a shepherd into a shepherd, kind of angling for a pile out here. And he buys another province, which is fine, okay? So um, I am able to see all of my deck here, and I am just going to buy a province. I did have some opportunity to perhaps remodel province into province here, remodel gold into province by duchy. I decided to not do any of those things, even though I said if finished in the game would be better for me. But I can't really remodel a gold yet into a province, and that's what I would prefer to do. Oh, I did. Never mind. I'm dumb. I played this game a long time ago. So I did remodel a province into a province, and I bought one. So that puts me a little bit ahead on the points. Um, but by this point, my opponent's deck is extremely resilient. He has those pair of guides on the mat, and there's so much green in his deck. His shepherds are thanking him over and repaying him heartily. All right, so there's 3 provinces left, right? So now we have to make some important decisions. His Pixie turns up the Swamp's Gift, which he is gonna pop to get a couple more Will-O-Wisps. They're not bad cards in his deck with a bunch of estates around, and he has control over where he puts the estates as well as a pasture. So he does take the Swamp's Gift here, and his play is to turn a Shepherd into a Duchy, right? And he's gonna buy another duchy. So he's not gonna touch the province pile. He can't really do that without giving me an opportunity to win. I can't turn 2 out of the pile as I showed last turn. So he's not gonna give me an opportunity to do that. Here now, I am actually able to see everything, or if not everything, nearly everything. But I have all my money and a remodel, I believe. And I decided to go ahead and just buy a province here. I felt like that was my best play. My alternative, I felt, was perhaps remodel gold into duchy and then buy a duchy. Perhaps that's an alternative that would give me 6 points, right? As much as a province would. Yeah, so here we are with everything. I again, the only 2 reasonable plays in my head is to remodel gold into duchy by duchy or to just straight by the province because I can't exactly remodel province into province by province. That makes it very easy for my opponent to win. Um, in the end, I decided on the single province because I was thinking somehow that he can't double province. Like the only way for him to take two provinces out of the pile would be to remodel one and then buy one, and that's not enough points to do that. We would tie on points, and he's first player, so he would lose. Of course, it all depends on what Pixie turns up now. All the boons are reset, so any of the 12 could show up at this point. So I decided to just go for it. Maybe he bricks with his wall are green, but he doesn't. I don't know what the likelihood that he bricks there is, but he doesn't. And he is actually going to make a win-in play here, which is to take what province and duchy, and there's just no way I can take that many points. So yeah, we had some discussion in the chat here. I was thinking about a completely different lineup play to him. My play was crap. I was thinking he needed either or any of the coin boons to win, but he doesn't have enough money. But thinking about it in the game there, if he had picked up the one that gives him gold, for instance, he could have remodeled gold into province and probably bought the other one. And that would just be, emphatic and crushing. According to Tracer, he seized 5 of the 12 boons, giving him an opportunity to win on this turn. At least that's how I interpreted that. I have no idea what these are. Maybe the silvers also does the trick there. But he still manages to find a win and play, which is good enough to win here. So he turns his last gold into a province, and he's gonna buy a duchy. The estate, sorry, the estate rather. And that makes it very easy for him to pile out, and there's no threat whatsoever of me piling out here because of the stupid wolf den duchies. A single duchy is worth 0 points for me. So that is how game one ends. I didn't think I had a chance in the beginning and the middle of this game, but because I had a bit more money than my opponent, I was able to at least bring it down to an end game where maybe I had a chance. I don't know if double duchy was better there instead of the province, but I'm sure you could let me know if it was better in that case. Anyways, this is how the first game ends, and thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.